Now, in many African countries, trading across borders often involves going through a third currency. According to Bank, currency conversions end up costing the continent about $5 billion a year. To solve this, some states are trying to switch to a common currency, like the ECO in ECOWAS. In others, common payment systems are being established. But are crypto systems like Facebook's Libra an alternative? CGTN's Ramanyang put that question to the president of the African Development Bank.
Well, if you take a look at the way in which you trade, obviously we need to have confidence in our own currencies to be able to trade. There's a lot of conversations that are going on right now in terms of whether you can have common currencies in different sub-regions of the world, of Africa, just like you have in other parts of the world. Those are ongoing conversations. You need to have confidence in your own currency.
But isn't it an emotional one, though? Because a lot of people will be like, well, why am I taking, if you're in Nigeria, for instance, and I come here with my Kenyan shillings, the reaction might be, but why would I trust this?
Well, when you have big open markets in which people are trading, take the case of ECOWAS, where they still talking about how, to have a common currency. That will facilitate trade because everything will be done in the currency of that region. And that's the kind of thing we need to continue to look at. For us at the African Development Bank, we are supporting a series of studies to look at the pros and cons of all of these approaches. The second thing, even for us, is that in terms of the loans that we give ourselves, whether it's trade finance or whether it's lines of credit, we are working quite a lot to make sure we can do those in local currencies because people trade in local currencies, and when they trade in local currencies, and you are basing your trade or transaction on dollar, then it means you have a foreign exchange risk effect that which you're passing on to the end, And so basically trading local currency, commodities in local currency financing is the best way to go. We've done that in Uganda, we've done that in Nigeria, we've done that in South Africa. So we'll continue to do quite a lot of that. And I want to say that, the efforts that are also being put up by the Afri-Exim Bank with the initiative that they are launching to make sure that people can also trade in local currencies is quite, we support it very strongly. We support the Afri-Exim Bank. We give them $1 billion, in terms of trade finance and also risk guarantees on trade. And so we will continue to support that process. But I think at the end of the day, when you have a market of $3.3 trillion, and as that grows, I believe Africa will get to the point that we start saying to yourself, why trade in other people's currency? Let's trade in ours.
One of the ways in which people are trying to solve that problem is through tech. So we've seen, for instance, blockchain being used quite a bit in some places to enable the movement of goods and currencies across borders. A more recent example, perhaps, of this is Libra. They pose this fascinating question. What if it was easy enough to just move money from point A to point B with a click? Do you think that might be the future?
Well, everybody was talking about, cryptocurrency and all of these things. I'm not going to tell you my views on those right now. Because absolutely, people still trust a lot of money they can hold, things that they can see, and stuff like. It's going to take a while for that to really deepen. But the thing is that we got to make sure digital payments you were talking about. Take a look at what has happened in digital payments world today. It didn't actually come from the West. It actually came out of Africa. It came right off your country, actually, with the M-Pesa that was done. And so for us as African Development Bank, we are investing more in digital payment systems. Digital payment systems are going to fast-track transactions within the continental free trade areas, no doubt about it. It's also going to be very critical as you look at financial inclusion, especially for women. It's going to help tremendously also in terms of security, personal security. Most of the trade that's actually going to be done or being done, and more is going to be done off in the years coming, is actually in the informal sector. And so the more people carry cash, and people get mugged and so on, and taken advantage of. So digital payments are going to reduce their transaction costs and obviously give them also quite a lot of security when they have to actually trade across borders. And in particular, it's going to be very critical to moving the informal trade more to the formal trade as well.